Hi guys, welcome back. So let's bring the results of your vote for the England team you would have to face Australia in that first test. Now, I think these are the videos I enjoy the most. I like obviously selecting teams. I like reading your individual comments, and I'll bring some of those up as we go along. But the votes actually get a consensus of hundreds of opinions on what you think is the best team. So I love going through these and seeing what they show. I don't know if there's anywhere else that you can find this sort of data anyway. So yeah, I'm loving it. Let's get into it then. At Loosehead, there it is. Very, very straightforward. 97.9% to Ellis Genge. So no one's even close. Rod and Vunipola about the same. I thought Vunipola might have a few more votes because of his experience. But yeah, Genge, I completely agree. I mean, he's just been playing so well. On top of his game, it's pretty clear. On to hooker, and Jamie George gets it 61.2%, but Cowan-Dickey's pretty close behind, and I think if Cowan-Dickey hadn't keep picking up these injuries, I think it might have been reversed actually, and no surprise that Walker with his inexperience is hardly getting any votes. But yeah, George starting, looking like you'd say Cowan-Dickey coming on, I imagine, from those stats. Tighthead. Now, I've said this is probably one of our weak areas, and in the general comments, I think you guys agree this could be a real weak area for us. The huge majority go with what I reckon with Stewart. Now, in the comments, Stewart has mixed reviews. Some say he's okay, some say he's nowhere near good enough. He's a big lad, he can scrummage, he can carry quite tight, and if he keeps it nice and simple and does those two core things pretty well, I think England are going to be pretty happy with that. But as your second choice, it's going to be, a youngster. Hayes getting the majority of the votes there. So, with him coming on, Australia may well target him as well. So, big moment for Stewart. We'll see if he is good enough. At the end of these 3 tests, I think we'll know exactly where we stand. Second rows, obviously you picked 2. Now, a bit of a spread here. Rock bottom was Charlie Ewels, even though he's a favourite for Eddie Jones. You guys are putting him down at 1% votes, and that goes with the comments I get. I watched him live, and he's a solid performer, but athletically nowhere near really some of the other players. Chesham, the youngster there, with 9.3, so that's interesting. Above Ezekwe. Some of you guys were saying you want Chesham on the bench, and I wouldn't be adverse to that. Many of you guys saying Laws into the second row, and he's got quite a few votes for it, but not enough to get the vote overall. Johnny Hill at 50% is the pair to Mara Itoje, unsurprisingly, at 98.2%. Obviously, because he get 2 votes, they're not adding up to just 100%. Blindside, here we go. So Laws gets the vote at Blindside. Now, he has to be in the team, I think, somewhere. I put him in at Blindside, you guys did too. And then Tom Curry is in there with the second choice. And then there's a few people going for the likes of Ludlam in there, Willis in there. But really, it looks like it's Laws, maybe Curry, depending on your preference, obviously, for 7. Let's have a look at the open side. There it is, Tom Curry with a decent majority there, 58.1%, saying he should be your starting 7. But quite a few going for Underhill. I imagine if you went for Underhill at 7, you probably went for Curry at 6 more than likely, but I don't know that. A number of you saying Willis as well to start, and I think he just needs a bit more time to get up that pecking order, but he's definitely got a chance if he stays fit. So, with those 3, if you like, Willis, Underhill and Tom Curry, I think you've got 3 very good choices at 7 at least. So I think that's one area of strength for England. Number 8. The majority of you went for Billy Vunipola, 61.2. I didn't start Vunipola just because I wasn't quite sure. I wanted to get Ludlam in there, but I wouldn't be adverse to Billy starting. I think he's going to be very motivated. He's super match fit, and if you went for, say, Laws on one side and Curry or Underhill on the other, or Curry and Underhill, say, I'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. He probably is odds on to start. Some of you guys saying Ludlam should get the nod. Not many saying Curry, and Curry may actually be seeing some time at 8 at some point. On a scrum half, and the majority of you want the experienced Danny Kerr to start. He is a fan favourite, and he's been playing just so well for Harlequins. I cannot see why not. A few of you saying Randall to start, which is absolutely fine. He's very quick to the breakdown, but I think overall I'd go with Care on what he's shown. He's very quick. Also, he's got that ability to control a game maybe a bit more than Randall as well. Look at that fly half stat. So there's just no comparison there. Smith gets it with a whopping 96.1%. A few of you saying Farrell to play 10, and some of you who said Farrell to play 10 in the comments said his controlling might be a bit better, his kicking around the park, his goal kicking, so that's fair enough. I think one person voted for Fullback, so maybe that was his mother again. Okay, into the inside centre. The huge majority saying, look, Farrell's going to have to start at inside centre if we're going to control this game. Many of you wanted him to kick a goal as well. Now, Smith isn't a bad goal kicker, I just think Farrell is a little bit better, plus the experience. Some of you going for Porter. It's a big call. It's the call I went for. It's a little bit desperate, but I think we need to find a power centre, someone who can actually hit the line and attack a bit. And a few of you voting for Dingwall as well. Outside centre, and a lot of options I gave you here. Marchant, the huge majority, 86.6. But he probably is the only obvious choice. And outside that, things are getting a little bit unknown, shall we say. Some of you going for Noel, some saying Porter. So there's a lot of untried players you're saying should play in that outside centre position. And I think it just shows you how England are a little weak, certainly weak on depth in that centre position. Into the wings, 2 votes again. Now, with the youngsters, I should just note here, the apprentices, we've got Joseph and Arundel. I've put them into the votes, even though I don't know, I don't think they're going to play because they're down as apprentices, but who knows. But they're in the voting anyway, and many of you wanted Arundel to play, and if he is available to be selected, I would be very tempted to play him, at the least on the bench, but I just don't know if he is. But the biggest percentage actually goes for Thokanasiga, which is interesting because from the comments, a lot of you are not sure about him, and I'm not sure either, but every time he's played for England, he's looked good, he's been very dangerous, and I really like the way they used him in that Barbarians game, just getting him into the game as much as possible, big ball carrying. Some of you say for his size and power, he should be a bit nastier in the carry and tackle, and I think that's a fair point. I think he can be. Hopefully that comes with confidence and also fitness as well, trusting his body. Quite a lot of votes for Freeman. He's a really good player up there at 30%, but just nipping him is May. A lot of you guys backing May. He has just come back from injury, so I am expecting him to get better. I'm just not sure he's quite as quick as he used to be, and that's really why you select May. And if you're going for pace, then, you know, maybe select someone like Arundel. And a few votes for everyone else, Noel there as well. Into fullback. Easy. Freddie Stewart gets your vote, and I think that's dead right. I think he's a phenomenal player. You've just got to accept he's not the quickest, but everything else he gives you is potentially world class. His positioning, I think his high ball work, his kicking's good. I think his defence is good. So I think he's, definitely one to build your team around. Freeman and Fullback getting a few votes as well. So there you go. There's your England starting 15 for Australia against George Stewart, Atoje Hill, Lord Curry and Vunipola, Karen Smith at half-back, Farrell and Marchant in the centres, May and Thokanasiga on the wings, and Stewart at fullback. So thank you very much for participating. Fascinating to know all your thoughts, and it's great just to collate those hundreds of votes to see exactly where the consensus is. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you next time.